AJ.
Hi, Brian.
Oh, and it's a real AJ. It's not even a Studio Ghibli AJ, which is nice. It's nice for a
Boo.
change. What?
Bring
What?
back Ghibli J.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. I say Studio
Ghibli
Ghibli
J.
or Studio Ghibli. I have no idea. It could be
Ghibli.
anything. Yeah.
Ghibli sounds like some kind of
Gerbil.
Louisiana breakfast grits. Like, go get you some Ghiblis.
What?
Did you eat your Ghiblis, boy?
Oh my God.
Yes,
Isn't
mama.
Isn't that what like pig parts are called? No, those are chitlins. Chitlins. Piece
Yeah,
of.
it's shitlins. I call
Is
them
it-
shitlins.
Is it chitlins? Is that what it is? Like, we just don't. We
Dude, don't
have that
ask
shit
me.
here.
I'm the
Oh,
last
yeah.
person on the world to ask how to pronounce something.
Really simple stuff, man. Like when I lived in Tennessee, there was some really simple but massive differences. Where it's like just like you go to a regular ass grocery store and there'd be like a bucket of pig parts as part one. I'm like, we don't have this up north. It's just not a thing.
Yeah, bucket
Yeah.
of pig parts. Yeah, no, I'm
Yep.
good, thank you.
Mhm.
But I will say, usually the meat from like the actual like slaughterhouse like is actually usually like way better. It's fresh. You know what you're getting. Just meat that came from the backyard, basically.
Twitcher says chitlins or giblets. All right, we're all caught up. We're all caught up. Studio giblets.
Studio giblets.
All right, man. Let's start this show before
Let's
everyone
go.
tunes out. Let's go. This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 Lives Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure. Tornadoes under the desk, just absolutely tearing stuff apart. So when this stream goes down, we all know who to blame. AJ. My name is Brian Paul, this gentleman right here without Parole. And this gentleman over here to my left, you're right. It's AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats? So good to see you. Happy Monday. And I know that Mondays usually suck, but we are here, Brian, to ensure their Monday sucks. Just a little less.
Excellent.
And boy, is it going to suck less, Brian, because I've been playing Aces of Combat all weekend.
Aces of Combat.
Scratch that. Aces of Thunder.
Air Combat. Ace Combat.
Air Combat, you know.
Do you know Ace Combat
Tomato,
used to be called
tomato.
Air Combat when it first came to PS1?
Yeah, the first one. What do you think? I'm some kind of gamer poser?
Yeah, you're a noob.
I mean, I am, but
Total noob.
yeah, no, it was originally called Air Combat because I was looking for Ace Combat 1 forever and I couldn't find it. And I'm like, why can't I find Ace Combat 1? Then it turns out, oh, it's called Air Combat.
Did you know that pieces of shit were called Battle Arena Toshinden back on PS1?
What? You take that back. That's the first PlayStation game I ever played, I think. And it was awesome.
I always like making fun of the games that you have cherished memories of over on PS1. But the reason is because I played Battle Arena Toshinden after I played Tekken 2. I think Tekken 2 is the game I bought the same day as my PlayStation 1. And Tekken 2 is like the best fighting game that had ever been made, the best one-on-one fighter as far as I'm concerned.
Up at the time, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So then you tried to go back to Battle Arena Toshinden, and you're like, whoa, what's happening here? And I was like, well, dude, this game came out 2 years ago. Like, give him a break.
I do have.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, it's all a lot of it's nostalgia. Some of it I legitimately think are great, like Jet Moto. I love Cool Borders too. I love. But yeah, there's stuff that is somewhat tied to nostalgia and just having that first experience playing a PlayStation at a demo booth at Circuit City when those were a thing that existed, and yeah, and it was like literally like I was like this thing is amazing. I have to buy it. So say what you will, Brian, but Battle Arena Toshinden was a system seller for me.
Excellent. I am fixing the format because everything here looks fucked up.
Okay, I lied. Twisted Metal is
Terrible.
actually what made me go out and buy one, but because Twisted Metal is amazing.
Yeah. Wait, was Twisted Metal 1 or 2 your first one?
Well, the first one that I ever played was 1, but the first one I ever owned was 2.
1 is still the only one with a first person perspective, right? With like the
Yeah.
interiors of the cars and stuff.
Yeah. I actually have the original box, everything right
The long
behind me.
box? I love it.
Yeah.
Nice. Didn't have Axel and Sweet Tooth on the cover?
Oh, you might be able to see it.
I'll go full screen on you.
Hold on. Little show and tell. It has. No, this is the first one. The first one didn't have Axel in it.
Oh,
it
that must have-
has
maybe the
Sweet
second one
Tooth
Yeah.
and some other people. Remember
Is
when
that
games used to look like this? Man.
I mean, even on PlayStation 1, they didn't look like that very long. They eventually went to like the big jewel case that size, and then just very shortly after went to regular CD jewel cases.
Good
Yeah.
stuff, man. Ooh, I'm excited for season 2, by the way.
Oh, I'm not. I just listen. You guys, everybody knows I'm very particular about everything, and especially about like comedy, right? Like that game was, or that show was. It just, I don't know, if it was like a dark and serious, show that like kind of stayed away from the comedy, I probably would have been like all about it. I'm so down to give it another chance though, because everyone I know says it's great and loves it, and I am, and so when season 2 comes out, I will then resubscribe to Peacock and marathon season 1 and 2, probably all in the same weekend.
Yeah, I love that it all comes out at once, and yeah, I literally like just sat there and watched the entire thing for like an entire day, and yeah, I really liked season 1. It wasn't like perfect or anything, but it like by the end of it, it gave me what I wanted, and I was like yes, and then I got really excited about season 2, and it wasn't bad as far as video game adaptations go. Like how bad those can get historically. Monster Hunter, looking at you. Probably the worst movie I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen some really bad movies, but it's like it's painful when a movie is like trying its hardest and it's just terrible, and like they're trying so hard and it's just like I just feel bad. Like I don't feel bad. I actually feel kind of angry. I'm like, why did you do this?
Well, it's going to be better than the Uwe Boll movies, right? That like didn't even try, right? Those games, those movies don't even try, which is horrible.
Yep. Which is less embarrassing, at least. I mean, the movies are still embarrassing, but it's it's like this was this. They weren't. To be fair, Monster Hunter wasn't Boll bad, but it also, like I said, it was taking itself very serious, and that almost makes it worse.
I took mushrooms one night and then watched House of the Dead, the movie, on my PSP. Like that is how that's how I consumed that movie for the first time. That's how I took it in, and I was like so fucking into it. It's really bad. It's really bad. There's like for transitions they use clips of the video game just fucking randomly. It's so weird, man. It's so weird. Oh man, AJ, we have a lot to talk about today. But
we got some big things. I wouldn't say a lot, but we have some really, really important things to talk about. That's for sure.
Starting with the GoFundMe, which thanks to you guys, we are already 20% of our way to our massive goal. We understand it's a lot of money, but we appreciate anyone that's helping out with the GoFundMe. The GoFundMe is for me and AJ and Miles and Wes to all get to PAX East again this year. This is where we're holding the GameCat Meetup 2025. It is expensive. The hotels are expensive. The airfare is expensive. Just surviving there for 4 days straight and having to basically eat at restaurants is expensive. And so we are putting ourselves out there, asking anyone who can contribute. We do not want anybody who is struggling on their own, right? Struggling to pay their own bills. We don't want anybody. You guys just sit back and chill and enjoy the show. Like, we're gonna have fun. Anybody who's got some extra money laying around that like they're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I've got so much money, I don't know what to do with it. AJ, we need those people to help us out. But 20%, man, that's fucking incredible.
Oh yeah, thank you guys so much so far, man. I'm super excited about this trip. I saw 12-Toed Tom. He purchased one of my hoodies. I've got non-profit gear available, and he purchased one of my hoodies. They're really nice hoodies too. And he was like, and he left a message saying like, getting this for the meetup. So I'm really excited, dude. I've known 12-Toed Tom since like 2018, since Preda. He's like one of the Preda OGs that ran with us. So
Bro, forget about it. No offense to Preda. right? But fuck Preda. He's just an OG game cat, man. Like that. I think 12 Toed Com probably goes back about 8 years on the channel. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's longer.
Yeah, but that's where I like first got to interact with him personally. So I'm just really excited.
This is all about you, as always.
No, it's about them. It's about us, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm just really excited to get to meet more people. You know, it seems like a lot of, I think some people are returning, but there's going to be a lot of new people, new faces, and dude, just get ready because last year was so much fun. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, dude, I can't, like, people who are traveling from overseas, like Looper and Twitcher and Latin, the Game Hound, and Metal Gear Solid Fritz. I mean, like, it is unbelievable. Who, how, I can't think of many things I would travel overseas for, especially annually. But man, we get some hardcore cats out there that would not miss this, and amazing. Can't wait to see you all again.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yep.
We get to share a pizza together. Nothing. There's no closer bond a game cat can have than sharing pizza
And some pork belly.
And coffee.
Oh my God, I'm going to drink so much coffee. We get the same hotel as last year, and they just have this 24-hour coffee station set up in the lobby, which is coincidentally where we hung out the entire time because of the free coffee. That was worth it right there, man.
It was amazing. I still love how we had like 2 security guards. Like, not only did they let us like completely take over their lobby, but they gave us like security guards, like armed security guards as well. I felt so safe, and it was awesome. They were cool as hell too.
I always feel very comfortable around armed security guards.
Well, when they're like, yeah, man, when they were totally cool with like, everything that was happening, and yeah, they let us film a episode of GamesCast live. I can't wait to do another episode of GamesCast live again in front of an audience. That was super special, man. So more memories await. Cannot wait. Less than a month away, man. So yeah, like you said, anybody that is able to contribute, it would help a lot. And we appreciate the hell out of you, and we will absolutely do our best to make it worth it with some extra special content.
Also, if you do contribute, make sure you just let us know in the chat, because for whatever reason, it doesn't auto update on the screen here. So if you want to see your contribution show up as part of the overall goal, fucking let us know, and we'll bring it up. We just got another $50 donation, so I want to give that person a shout out real quick here. Come on, F5. Come on, F5. Oh, no, hold on a second. It came from 2 different donations. Anonymous gave us $13, and then another Anonymous gave us $37. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We love you.
We do, with all of our cold, dead hearts. We also got Nihilist Ryan, the game feline, with the $5 tip in the chat saying, Aces of Combat, hype.
Yeah, man. Nice. Yeah, looking forward to sharing my thoughts. Like I said, I've been playing Aces of Thunder all weekend long. Yep. And we'll get into that a little bit more, but
to clarify, like everybody else that's been playing it, you're playing it on PC with your PSVR2 headset.
It is with the PSVR2, but it's on PC. That is correct, and it is an early access beta, which I will reiterate before we do the deep dive. It is early access beta. It's still in active development, and I'm playing on PC. But obviously, the content of the game is exactly the same. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
We also got Noctis with the €2.50 saying, I'm always 6 hours ahead in Germany. Missed 2 shows. No, don't. That's okay. Listen, we love that people actually show up here and want to be part of the live chat. And, but these things just sit on the internet for all eternity. So all the stupid shit we say, we can never scrub ever.
I know, it's so unfortunate.
It really is, because I'm sure over the last decade of doing this, I've said a lot of stupid shit. So.
Yeah. I mean, within the last 3 weeks, I've heard you say some stupid shit. So yeah.
Yep.
I can only imagine if you go back 10 years, how deep that goes.
For real, it's true. Very bad. Hold on a second. Kiznell says, by the way, you can embed the GoFundMe widget as a streaming source. Just have to copy the URL from share. I'm streaming from a website, but the problem is that the website itself isn't actively anytime someone donates, it doesn't actively refresh the page on its own. So maybe I'm still screwing up what you're saying. Maybe you've just given me a solution and I still don't understand. But yeah, it's not OBS. It's the page itself that's not auto updating. Please tell me that I'm fucking stupid if I didn't get what you were saying. Holy crap, dude! It is I cannot believe. What are we 2 weeks away from the GameCat meetup? It's like just under 2 weeks, just over 2
Something
weeks.
like that.
1, 2.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
1, 2, 3. 2 weeks.
Just
and 3
over
days.
2 weeks.
I ordered wristbands.
Yay!
Yeah, dude, ordering wristbands is so dumb. Like it costs like $150 just to order 30, but for somehow you can get about 300 for $110. Yeah, I don't understand it. It's a very convoluted.
Well, at least they're
process.
really cool wristbands, and they last forever, which I do really like.
Yep, and if anybody's coming, you're definitely going to get a handful of them to bring back to your country or state of origin. Yeah. Also, if you are going to the GameCat meetup, make sure you go over to Discord and go into the GameCat meetup channel, 2025 GameCat meetup channel. There's a poll there that's running for the next 2 weeks. We're just trying to get an idea of how many people are going to be there, for logistical sakes. But all good.
All right.
Cool. AJ, you want to hit up some viewer takeover questions?
Yeah, man.
Cool. First one comes from Luke Sparling over on the Discord. Says, #viewer takeover. What are your top 3 flat games of all time? And then says, if we include top 3 games of all, and then he said, if we include VR games, does that change what your top 3 games are? AJ, let's try to knock this out. This is a tough question, right? Because I think both of us have played thousands of video games at this point in our lives. Narrowing it down to top 3 is almost impossible. But do you have any kind of indicator as to any idea at all what your top 3 might be?
So one thing that people need to know is that Brian and I have played a lot of games. Like
you mean like literally thousands?
Yeah, I'm thinking somewhere along the lines of literally thousands.
This is proof that you do not listen when I talk on the show, because I literally just said that.
Oh,
that's how I introduced this segment.
Well, I was thinking about games, like which games would I choose or whatnot. But
I'm always thinking about games, AJ. Always.
Okay. Well, I think it's no secret that my favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VII. Also, Mega Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 is where it gets kind of tricky, because it's kind of a toss-up between Twisted Metal, Lost Planet 2, or No Man's Sky. Also Devil May Cry. See, it's like there's too many. There's too many.
All right, so your top 7. We've got. We're so
yeah,
far, so good.
I can only give you like a top 10. Really, I can't do a top 3. That's just like that's like impossible. As far as the overlap with VR, I do think that it is kind of interesting, right? That like for the most part, none of my favorite games of all time, despite VR being the only thing I can play like moving forward, there hasn't been anything that has been, for me personally, the equivalent of like my favorite games of all time. A lot of that has to do with like, Mega Man 2 is the reason I ever started playing the reason I discovered video games and like ever started playing it. It was like, that's why it's like one of my favorite of all time. And then Final Fantasy VII, of course, was like, it was just like revolutionary to be there at the time. It was such a wild combination of storytelling, gameplay, graphics, music, just like literally everything. It's 10 out of 10. And then, but No Man's Sky is the big one where there's some overlap here. No Man's Sky, I think of all the games, that's the only game that was like, hey, this was like one of my favorites flat, and then also one of my favorites that's VR compatible. So yeah, No Man's Sky is the closest thing to both a hybrid game that is on my top 3 of all time. How about you?
That you just did that way better than I ever could. I have no idea. I mean, like, listen, for me, point and click adventures were like the greatest thing of all time when I was younger. Those were the
Monkey
games that I
Island.
loved. Where yeah, exactly. Whereas like but whereas you're playing like Mega Man 2 and honing those eye hand coordination skills, I
Yeah.
am sitting in front of a PC with a mouse, rolling the cursor over everything, hoping that there's something on the screen that I can use in order to solve a puzzle. And I just don't think that ever got any better than, I mean, maybe Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the graphic adventure game, or my favorite personal one is Loom. Although I do give massive respect to the Monkey Island games, Secret of Monkey Island and LeChuck's Revenge were both fantastic.
That's definitely that could have been, that would be included in my top 10 for sure.
Crazy.
Monkey Island.
Crazy. I feel like you've already named 15 games in your top 10.
I told you I played a lot of games, but that would be there.
But then I think Super Mario World, which is not only like my favorite Mario game ever made, is probably like my favorite, one of my favorite games of all time. And I don't know Mario World like a lot of people do. I know a lot of people out there like know every single secret and how to get just how to unlock the entire map and all the exits of the ghost house and blah blah blah. I don't know that. Right, like I got into Mario World a little late. I played it a little bit on my friend's Super NES when we were kids, and then later on in life, I got my own Super Nintendo and started really getting into it. But I've never like looked up all the secrets and how to do everything. And so like there's still a bit of mystery in that game to me, and I like that. I kind of like not knowing everything about a game that I really enjoy. And then of course you go back to the PS1 and there's all of the basically Resident Evil clones. You look at games like Galarians, which was amazing, Kudelka, which was amazing, and I almost think that because those games are lesser known, they tend to get higher up on my list than an actual real Resident Evil game, and I really like that.
I didn't even mention Einhander.
Yeah,
Paradise Decase's Returnal. Yeah, that's one of the newer ones. That's definitely one of my tops for sure. What up, PD?
Indie Soul says, "What's Brian's mom's top 3?" Everyone, if anyone was unsure if my mom watched the show, they found out on Friday's episode that she 100% does. She was texting me a lot, because I was telling stories about my mom, and she was like, "I don't even remember this." I saw her over the weekend, and she was just like, she's like, "Huh, nice of you to make me seem like a horrible mother on your show." No, that's not it. Anyway, so dude, when you add VR stuff to the mix, that's where stuff does get a little bit interesting, right? Because as much as I love Resident Evil 7 as a game period, it's because it was in VR that it was so impactful to me. And I think Resident Evil 7 in VR cracks my top 3. It might be number 1. I'm not gonna lie, man. As much as I love retro games, as much as I love old DS and GBA and Super Nintendo or whatever else, I think Resident Evil 7 just shows what I think so few games show what advancements in technology can actually do, right? So often they rely on being like, oh, well, now the open world is so much bigger, and now the dialogue trees, and there's multiple endings. It's like, no. Like Resident Evil 7 in VR made me feel like I was in the Baker estate. That's, the map wasn't huge. It was, still a fairly linear game. I just think it used technology and the advancements in processing power and everything else and resolution, just in a way that like really impacted my enjoyment of the game. It was kind of a game changer as far as VR is concerned. And of course that came out 2 months after or 3 months after PSVR 1 did, which if I wasn't already in love with that headset, solidified that I was going to be in love with that headset for a long time.
Yeah. It's great. It's awesome. The effect that VR has, it is way different. And yeah, man, Resident Evil 7, like I played Resident Evil 1, 2, 4, 5, unfortunately. And then like after 5, I was like, ugh, I'm done. And then 7 came out. And like, honestly, I always liked Resident Evil, but when I played 7, it completely it literally is a game changer because it transformed how I felt about the Resident Evil series. And I went from just liking it, like after playing 7, like I fell in love with Resident Evil. And then I wanted to play all the rest of them in VR. And yeah, that's where my, like what made me really love the Resident Evil series was VR. And It's happened with that with a couple games, like Hitman. Like I didn't give a shit about Hitman before VR, and now it's like I love it. I love it like I've loved it my entire life or something, which I haven't. I played it a long time ago, and I was like, yeah, it's like it was just kind of boring to me. And like in VR, I'm like, this is like one of the greatest things ever made. Like it's crazy the effect that VR, how transformative that can be.
Yeah. Relic with the $5 tip says Half-Life Alex numero uno, OG NES Mario Brothers, and Helldivers 2. That's quite an eclectic little group of games there for your top 3. I like it. I like it. Yep. I actually just downloaded Helldivers on my Vita, Helldivers 1. So I'll probably be checking that out at some point soon. Perpetually 10 years behind the rest of the world, AJ, other than VR, of course. If we get Helldivers 2 in VR, that'd be a different story. I'd be all about that.
Again, yeah. I really like the first one, but without VR, I won't touch the second one. I just don't care anymore. It just doesn't do it for me anymore. I get bored after like 1 hour.
Dude, our next viewer takeover question comes to us from El Guapo Game Gato, which is a fantastic name. He says, hashtag viewer takeover. With the recent talk of game developers starting to implement 120 hertz into PS5 Pro versions of PSVR2 games, how far away do you think we are from saying that the difference is enough to make it worthwhile to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro?
Well, we're going to have different perspectives because you have a PlayStation 5 Pro and I do not. Because I'm quite frankly just not convinced yet. Like I need more. The big thing that's holding me back from getting one is that it already looks really great on a PS5. A base PS5. This is not a same situation as the PS4 and the PS4 Pro, where games look really blurry, really AAC, lower frame rate, reprojected, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And then like suddenly you get a Pro, and now all these games are clear and clean and smoother, and like it's just if it looked bad on PS5, like I'd probably get it instantly. So they really, there's been a couple temptations like No Man's Sky and a couple games here and there, but there needs to be like across the board, like a much more substantial upgrade for me to be incentivized enough to go out and get, shell out another $700 plus the disk drive, whatever like add-on that is, but I'm keeping one eye on it. I personally just don't feel like there's like this doorbuster yet on it for me personally.
Yeah, there's not. And what El Guapo Game Gato had said, so far what we're seeing is our developers talking about saying, hey, we've made our game run at 90 native on PS5 Pro, and then, we've made our game run at 90 native on PlayStation 5, and on the Pro, here's 120 hertz mode. He's referring to Resist, which I'm playing the trailer of right now, referring to Undead Citadel, which they've said that, possibly after launch, they'll include 120 hertz mode for PlayStation 5 Pro. The problem here is that there's not a massive difference between 90 native and 120 native. It's almost like I think most people will likely not be able to detect the difference. For me, I think it's more of a feeling in my stomach, right? There's just something about moving through VR at that super, super fluid 120 hertz native that, that's even smoother than 90 hertz. And it's almost like you can tell. I could feel the difference walking around in Genotype, because that runs at 120 native. You can feel the difference going from 90 to 120 in Resist, because you're flying around that city at these insane speeds, right? And it's good. It's good. Like it just adds that little bit more, that extra bit of realism, but it's so small and hardly noticeable, and it's something you get used to very quickly if you're playing it. Really what they need to be doing is saying, hey, for games that are using that are being reprojected on the OG PS5, these are games that we're giving either 90 hertz or 120 hertz native modes to on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and that will convince people to buy a Pro, right? It's like you're just taking something like once you get to 90 hertz native, like I don't think it's a massive jump to 120 native. I think
And
that's
90
fine.
native is the important part for me as well. I mean, for just about every game I play, I always put it at 90 native. If I have like the option on PC,
Mm.
that's just, yeah, like 90 native is plenty sufficient frame rate for VR. I think it's very smooth. It looks good, and yeah, instead of bumping it up to 120, just like keep that 90 native. Make sure it's got DFR and increase the texture detail, the lighting, the textures, lighting, geometry, whatever, mesh stuff.
Yes, I mean
That
the
make it
super
look
sampled.
prettier.
Right, the focal area of the DFR, super sample that at 2x instead of 1.25x, something, right?
Yeah.
It's minor differences, but you start making all of these changes, and then suddenly your game looks better. And there's other little things too that people have done. Obviously the different type of reprojection on Gran Turismo 7. If you look at Subside, there's dynamic shadows on things that you can pick up, and even your hands.
Yep.
That it's like you don't even know that those things aren't there until you played the pro version and then
Right.
see them there, and you're like, oh yeah, that was missing before. I didn't even notice. So it's a bunch of little things, but I do think that as PSSR gets implemented into PSVR2 on the Pro, and developers kind of come to terms with all these things. I saw the Virtual Resistance talking about how most developers don't even know not to use reprojection. The word's getting out about this, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
so and people are coming to terms with like exactly how to use the power of the PlayStation 5 when it comes to VR. And I think it feels like we're just getting started. I was talking about Friday's show, how everything seems like it's kind of coming together. Like we're seeing fewer and fewer of these kind of like crappy ports that aren't utilizing PSVR2 features. And we just seem to be getting over and over the best versions of every game with almost every game that comes out.
Yeah, it's inevitable that that's going to happen occasionally, because that's just the day and age that we live in, where some games come out unfinished, some games come out, not fully taking full advantage of the features. But I do agree that overall, it does seem like most places are getting it right, trying to target 90 native. And if they don't, they certainly hear about it with their lead up to launch, because that's the only question they get asked 50,000 times leading up to launch. And they got to be like, I'm sure they're like, oh man, we really screwed up not including this. Like Undead Citadel even did like a 180. They're like, oh, we're going to try to get this now, because obviously we see how much like interest there is and how important it is to people. And yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I want to make sure I get this tip right. Let me bring it back up. Dratzeb with the $5 says, Resist on the Pro plays like butter. It's unbelievably good at 120 hertz. Yeah, normally I would be like, whatever, 120 versus 90, whatever. But man, again, grappling through that city and taking 90-degree turns down the streets. I mean, it's an intense game already. And the more you play, the more intense it gets, because you just keep leveling up those powers and are able to fly through the city even faster. And then, I just started a new game plus the other night to check out the 120 hertz mode. And so I've already leveled up at the very beginning of the game, and I'm flying through the city, and I'm like, this is like extra intense at 120 native.
Yeah.
It's great, man. It looks
Yeah,
beautiful
some games
too.
can definitely get away with it, but some of these more graphically intense games, the Hitmans and the Gran Turismos, like, yeah, those are going to be, it's like, I'd rather just take 90 for those, if possible. I mean, obviously I always want everything to be as best as it possibly can, but sometimes the best you can get is 90 native, and then
you
not
gotta wonder
reprojected.
what's possible, right? Like Hitman is already using DFR and it's running 60 reprojected. You've got to wonder how much more power they've got to work with, right? Just getting it up and running this beautifully at this resolution on PSVR2 to begin with is kind of a minor miracle. And then but is there enough power under the hood of the Pro to get Hitman up and running at 90 native? Like I don't even think IOI would even consider trying to make that happen, but I'd like to know if it's possible.
Yeah, the Pro would be the only chance. They've obviously squeezed everything they can out of the base PS4, base PS5. There's no way that, because people were like saying like, oh, it's reprojected. I'm like, dude, you can't run this game on a PS5 not reprojected unless you strip out everything that makes it look good to begin with. It's just not possible. Like, a lot of people confuse that. Like sometimes it's just not possible. Sometimes it is. And they're like, hey, but red matter looks that way. It's like, well, red matter is like a small room with like, a couple objects to interact with versus an entire city with like people walking around and physics and like all this stuff. So yeah, it's it's kind of a game by game basis as to like what the best, most optimized version could be.
Yeah. And honestly, who said it in the chat? Now it's Ryan says he doesn't even notice reprojection in Hitman, and it's like, I mean, I do. I'm super susceptible to it. I will always see reprojection. It's just impossible for me not to. It's because of the ghosting, right? I mean, that's why anybody notices it. But like even the persistence, not the game, but the persistence on the OLED panel in Kayak made me think it had reprojection like at first because, still getting used to PSVR2. And so seeing the ghosting from the persistence of the OLED panel like made me, so I mean, that's just for me something I just can't not see. I wish I could turn that part of my brain off.
Yeah. I'm more sensitive to Mura than I am reprojection. The only game with reprojection that really bothered me was like Call of the Mountain. That was really bad because those colors are just so oversaturated, and it just you turn your head and it's just like this saturated color, just like I don't know, stretching out. It looks really bad. The ghosting on that, but everything else like Hitman, doesn't bother me one bit. I mean, I can sometimes see it, but it's like I don't notice it. It doesn't bother me. Like it doesn't distract me at all.
Good. Again, that's for some people they'd be like, well, you're not the person to go to when it comes to like talking about frame rates or that kind of stuff. But honestly, I'd rather be in your shoes and not notice that kind of stuff, right? To be able to talk about it and be like, oh, I noticed this and I noticed that, and oh, there's definitely Murray here, and people who notice Murray are going to notice this, and then people are going to notice reprojection are going to notice this. But I don't see Murray like most people do. And I would just rather be able to enjoy games, man. Like, right? Just enjoy games. You got to figure the people at Sony who developed this reprojection system are like most of the cats out there who don't notice reprojection, right? They didn't mean to release this system that like doesn't quite work for everybody, right? It's like they just didn't have enough people tested, I guess, to make sure that it was that it worked for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's again something so close to your eyes. Yeah, it's like everyone's going to have different sensibilities, and they're going to be affected by different things. Like it's so close to your eyes, different eyesights, all sorts of factors play. There's so many factors that go into it. So yeah.
Oh, hold on a second. We got to go back to the GoFundMe, dude. We got to go back to the GoFundMe. Oh my God. We're up to 21%, AJ. We've made a whole percent difference. 99 donations. I wonder who the 100th is going to be.
Oh, who's going to be the 100th?
But dude, 1 minute ago, somebody anonymous. So many people donating anonymously, man. Like that is. I mean, listen.
Thank you.
Yeah, very. They don't even want credit for what they're doing, man. An anonymous person donated $100.
Wow.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
You're amazing. Nick Mulo, the game cat with the $5 says, I'm at a brewery, and they're playing It's Been a While as I watch, so you don't even have to torture me with it. Anyway, cheers.
Oh, I feel your pain. I'm so glad I'm not at that brewery right now.
It's been a while.
Oh, no. I can't escape it.
Thanks for the donation, Nick. Hope they got some good IPAs for you at the brewery. Does it sound like I'm mumbling that word, or is it just me? Brewery.
I don't know, but you're saying it like 8 times every time.
Brewery.
It more sounds like you're echo or delayed or something.
Roads. All right. Did we even answer that question? I don't know. Yeah, we kind of did. We did enough.
I forgot what the question was.
PS5 Pro. Listen, I love my PS5 Pro, but don't forget I fucking paid probably $770 for it after tax. And so I am daily trying to justify that purchase. So yeah.
I think it'll get there. Like, I think there's some cool things on it. Again, I'm a big No Man's Sky player, and a lot of the things are pretty neat. You always get the best version of a base PS5 if it's not updated. You always get a game running at the best frame rate possible. So there's definitely benefits to it, but yeah, I need to see what PSSR does, if anything. Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm gonna play the patient game here.
Hell yeah. I mean, yeah, there's no reason to get one now.
Why get a Ferrari if it can only have a Pinto engine in it? Does that make
Moving
sense?
on.
Is that a bad analogy?
You know what, man? I don't know. Pintos. Oh my god. I was gonna say that we had
290s for you,
up, but I think we had a Datsun.
Datsun.
Do we have somebody in my family had a Pinto? I don't know. I don't even know what at this point. I don't even know what the brand name is and which one the make of the car is or the model of the car is.
Anyways,
AJ, I barely talked about this on Friday's show, so I figured we'd do a little bit of a deeper dive. Maybe check out some Steam reviews and take a look at this new game that's coming to PSVR2. Actually, an older game coming to PSVR2 called Presentiment. I don't know what that means. Of Death. Presentiment of Death. This is the hardest game title for me to remember, probably ever.
Presentiment of Death.
Yeah. Hold on. Presentiment. Okay.
Are you Googling it?
Yes, of course. Presentiment. An intuitive feeling about the future, especially one of foreboding. I have a presentiment of GameCat Meetup 2025.
So call it Death Foreboding or something. I don't know.
Death Foreboding.
Yeah, it's a weird name. That's a weird name.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we've seen, people should really, the developers should really learn their lesson by now. Like, keep it simple.
They
keep
did.
The name simple.
They did. This is Zocus. And then they went on to make Exocars. They kept it real short. It was like 6 letters total.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. Exocars is a much better title.
Yeah. And so all I know about this is that it's a bow and arrow game. That to me, watching this trailer, looks a lot like Raw Data for some reason. But then when you start reading the store description over on Steam, because this game came out like 2 years ago on Steam, they even mention Super Hot, like the official description of the game compares it to Super Hot. So there's some time mechanics. Yeah, that's the crazy part, right?
They literally mention, usually when they take inspiration from it, they don't usually mention that in like the official description. Yeah.
Right. So
it's like Super Hot plus Raw Data. It'd be great if that's what they put in their own description.
Right. They changed the name of the game from Presentiment of Death to Super Hot Bow and Arrows. So they sent mostly positive reviews. The description is, did you hear that? Sounds of classical music and an arrow rushing by. Burst your way through the enemies inhabiting on different game levels and come out a winner. Remember, all is in your hands. A bow and a chance to survive. Let's take a look at these reviews, man, because I'm very curious. Anybody in the chat play this over on PC? If you have, then please let us know if it's any good, if it's something we should be looking forward to. So far, I haven't seen anybody say anything about it. Oh, Tatum says, I have this game. I need to play it tonight. Why don't you play it last night? And then you can come back here in present day and tell us about it. All right. Oh, it's on Quest 2. So people are actually reviewing it on I'm putting on their Quest 2 reviews on Steam. I guess that's a thing. All right. Let's see. We'll go with the very first review. No, I'm not going to go with the very first review. He's got 0.8 of an hour on record. What? Hold on, we're gonna see somebody who's actually played the game. Yeah, this review has 0.2 of an hour. This review's 0.2 of an hour, 1/10 of an hour.
That's not good if nobody's actually playing the game.
Yeah, even the positive reviews are like all around an hour at best. What is happening?
That's weird.
All right, well, whatever. We're gonna go with 0.8 of an hour because that seems pretty average. So this is somebody's first impressions. They have not played a whole lot of it. They said, once again, big thank you. Whatever, dude. They can review this game. Yes, we got it.
This is not going well, Brian.
I could quite simply say this game is super hot, but with bows and arrows. I think that's really enough said. It's such a great concept, and I'm just surprised that the devs of Super Hot didn't bother to do this because it's such a good concept. It's great to see a developer like Zocus step up and make a great VR game after some setbacks in their earlier attempts and their later attempts from the future. This game is so much fun. It's really surprising that such a great concept was never executed prior to this time. Is this written by fucking ChatGPT? Can you get to the fucking game?
Yeah,
If you,
I don't think we're gonna learn anything from these more than we would just from watching the trailer. And yeah, I mean that's literally I've learned nothing from these reviews so far.
okay.
So maybe yeah, unless you find one, I wouldn't even bother with those. From the trailer, it does look like super hot with a bow and arrow. Now whether or not time moves, stand still, whatever, I'm not sure. Is that even in the description? I mean, they say super hot in the description. So is there a time mechanic with it? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be. There's got to be. I'm assuming time only moves when you do. It's got to be, right? Otherwise, why are we comparing it to Super Hot?
Yeah.
So like Super Hot, Presentiment of Death incorporates the innovative concept of time manipulation, allowing players to strategically plan their moves and execute them with precision. The game takes this mechanic to a whole new level by using the bow and arrow, immersing you in a world where every arrow shot counts. The accuracy and realism of the bow mechanics, why are they dancing around the question instead of just telling us how it plays? Yeah, again, no one's really describing. Okay, hold on. This negative review says the time not only moves fast when you move, but also when the bow is drawn. This way, you don't have time to properly align your shots. There we go. So when in super, thankfully, Private 117, even with his 15 minutes of playtime, and his negative review, have clued us into the information we need. So because even Super Hot, when you fired off a gun or a weapon, time would accelerate for a few seconds, right? Like you were in big trouble if somebody was shooting at you because it's like it would speed up. But that's really cool to find out that that when you've got the arrow pulled, knocked and loaded, as we say, I don't think that's what it means. That time's speeding up, and so I gotta fucking hurry up and take this shot, and so you don't have 20 seconds to line up your shot absolutely perfectly and get a headshot. That's pretty cool. I like this. The Virtual Resistance says, I feel like developers are using AI to do reviews and act like there's a lot of interest in their game. That might be true.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to checking this out, but they still got a lot of work to go with Exocars, I think, right? I haven't actually played it since the update. I need to go back and revisit it.
Yeah, Exocars has online multiplayer now. It's got a couple new maps. They've worked on the physics, and so I mean, it is they're getting there. They're getting there. Delivering. So, but this is I listen. I don't know if Zocus is making this game for PSVR2. I don't know if VR Monkey is porting this for them. So that could definitely be the case while they're busy working on Exocars and getting it up to speed. They could have another studio porting this over. We don't even have a release date for this. This is one of those games that just showed up on the PlayStation Store, and that's how it was announced, by just appearing. And then the cats, I think specifically Rypop, was just looking through the PlayStation Store listings and said, "Hey, what the fuck is this?" And that's how some games get announced these days, AJ, just by appearing on the PlayStation Store. And I think that's bullshit, because these games deserve a little bit more love than that, right? How about you tell people that your game is coming instead of just assuming that they stare at the PlayStation Store every day? It's weird.
I don't know. Super hot with bow and arrow. Let's move on.
Wow.
I think that's all it needed, really.
Yeah, tell me how you really feel, AJ. He's like, I'm tired of talking about this. It doesn't matter. That's one of two headlines for today's show.
Overthinking it.
Yeah. All right, fuck it. Everybody's only here for one reason. Let's get to the main topic of the show. You spent the better part of the weekend playing the PC VR version of Aces of Thunder. PSVR2 keys are not out. They have gotten in touch with me. It's so nice to see all the Without Parole love when Gaijin tweets and says, "Hey, who's interested in checking out our game?" And everybody's like, "You should get Without Parole to play this." That is awesome. Thank you very much. They reached out and said, "Are you interested in a PC VR key?" And I said, "Are you on crack?" And they said, "Yes." And I said, "No, thank you." Okay. AJ, take it away, man. Let's hear about your first impressions getting into Aces of Thunder.
Okay. Yeah, let's do this thing, man, because this is one of the biggest, most anticipated upcoming titles. Dude, the PSVR2 user base is flipping out with excitement. Some people went out and bought a PSVR2 waiting for this game. So there's a lot riding on this game being good. And real quick, want to throw this out there. This is an early access beta preview. The game is still in active development, meaning that it still has a lot of work to go, and there's still some things to do. And yeah, so my first impressions, I'll tell you a little bit about the game first, and then I'll kind of tell you how I feel about it and where and kind of the current state that the beta that I've played is in.
Right. And if anybody in the chat has questions, I'm obviously going to have questions as AJ talks. So make sure you post your questions for AJ in the chat, and I'll do my best to kind of corral them a little bit and present them to AJ so we don't miss any important questions.
Thank you, Brian. So ACES of Thunder is a World War II based flight simulator. It is like mostly PvP focused. However, it does have some other game modes that are like it's got a single player mission mode that does have like just solo missions that you can do, and it's also got a custom battle mode as well, where you can customize the level, the enemies, the type of mission it is, and you can just play like a custom skirmish basically. The big draw here, I think, is going to be the main battle online mode. That seems to be the most polished out of all of them. That seems to be the mode that is the most ready to go. Obviously, it being early, I wasn't playing online with people. I was playing against bots. So as far as like flight simulator goes, it's like, how flight simmy is it? It is pretty simulator-ish, but it's not like everything. Like, it's not like Ultra Wings where you turn you flip the switch to start up the engines, you flip the thing to draw on the fuel, and then you crank the propeller, all that stuff. But it does have some other, it's a simulator in different ways. First of all, and a really important note here is that I was playing with the virtual controllers. I was playing on a PSVR2 on PC. They recommend using a gamepad, which I refuse to do. And they also recommend maybe using a HOTAS, but I couldn't get the HOTAS to work. I don't think it's ready yet. It's not in the options either. So I've been playing with a somewhat limited button layout, and there was like an option in the options to like remap the buttons, but it's not fully functional with the PSVR2 controllers yet. So I may have been playing without some with some key buttons missing, but that being said, I was still able to play. This is a functional playable build, and was able to play several hours this weekend. And yeah, so the things you can interact with currently in the cockpit, obviously the flight stick, you can use that. You can punch up and punch down the throttle for speed. You can manually like pull the lever to lift up the landing gear. So that is like one of the flight simmy kind of elements, is like when you take off, like you got to take off, and you got to take off cleanly, and then you got to like lift up your gear. You do have control over your flaps. My favorite little thing, this is such a minor thing, but this is just something that I think was super cool, is that you actually have to you don't have to, but you can manually close the canopy. So like before you take off, like you want to close the canopy of your plane. So like you're sitting there and you're like rolling it up or like rolling it close or whatever. And it feels very good. It feels really cool to be able to do that. There's a lot of variety, like even just in starting out, there's actually a pretty ample amount of airplanes to choose from. And yeah, there's a lot of airplanes to choose from. There's like 5 from the US, like 5 from Germany, 5 from Japan, 5 from England, 5 from China, something like that. And then there's like even like some World War I planes.
Can I stop you for a second?
Yes.
We've heard from other people who've gone hands-on with this that there will be microtransactions in the game. Is that apparent in the build that you played? Like, was it like, oh, you can purchase this one for this many dollars, or purchase, or
that's not apparent. They did provide me with one extra code for an airplane. There was an airplane that they gave me that was a separate code. And I suppose that one airplane is going to be the DLC or whatever.
Okay.
Other than that, I haven't seen anything else. No,
Did you feel as separate from that one plane? Did you feel as though you got enough to make people happy at launch? Enough types of aircraft, enough variety in the aircraft. Do you feel like people are going to get in and be like, I need to buy DLC in order to enjoy this, or do you think they'll be happy with what they get with the base game?
Well, it's a pretty significant. It is a really nice plane. So I think there are going to be people that want to purchase it. But luckily, it just seems like it's one plane from all I can tell. So it is a like significant like U.S. airplane though that is pretty awesome. So yeah, I think people are going to be tempted. But here's the thing. This game does have a progression system where everything is earned. From what I can see so far, everything is earned by playing over and over and grinding and having basically being successful in getting kills and earning points, completing missions, completing objectives, things like that. It is a little bit grindy. Like it's going to take you some time to play and get better at it. There is definitely an adjustment at first. Like it takes getting adjusted to. This is not the easiest game to just pick up and start playing. Although it's not like I said, it's not 100% super got to do every last little button and thing in the airplane to make it work. It still does take getting used to, especially using the virtual controller, because as we know, I mean, people struggle with No Man's Sky, and that's as simple as it gets when it turns. It's just virtual in-game virtual HOTASes and steering wheels. Just, it's just something that isn't completely figured out. But I think after you get used to it, I actually think it feels pretty good. That being said, I cannot wait for the HOTAS support, because obviously I think the HOTAS is going to make it 10 times better. Even though the interactions of using the orbs or whatever is pretty cool. I like using those, but I just feel like man, it's going to feel so much better with an actual HOTAS. It's just going to feel probably like there's more control. But so in terms of like sim, the other thing that feels like very like, I guess a little bit more realistic is there's a couple things. It's kind of strange. The maps on this are huge. Like the maps are really, really big. And there's some cool locations like Pearl Harbor and like Normandy, some snowy place. I don't know. I guess it's Russia. I'm just going to assume it's Russia. But obviously a lot of World War II locations. But these levels are very, very big. And part of what they've done here, and I feel like this is sort of like a trendy thing for more like hardcore games, is that like it takes a long time to fly into battle. Like when you let's just say the regular online battle mode, when you take off, like you can see stuff way far in the distance, but it takes like 5, maybe 7 minutes to fly out there and start engaging in the battle. And if you're playing stuff like Domination, you're trying to get there. And to me, it works in a way where it kind of incentivizes you to do well once you get into battle, because if you stay alive, like you don't have to worry about having to fly all the way back out there again. I think some people are going to like that. Some people are not going to like that. Some people would rather just be like, right into the battle, and you repeat and you die, you're instantly back in it. No, that's not how this works. It actually reminds me a little bit of like Battlefield back in the day, like Battlefield 1942, where like, it would take you some time to get into the battle. And then you really want to stay alive because if you die, then it's going to take you some time to get back to it again. And the war, the battle that's going on can actually change by then. So, but yeah, I don't know how people are going to feel about that overall. I can see people both loving it and hating it. It's grown on me personally, where like, I'm like, I I'm spending time in the game. Yeah, it does take a little long. It's a little time consuming, but it also is kind of more immersive this way, a little bit more like there is something to that actually kind of works.
Uh, let's back up a little bit, man. I want to
Mhm.
I want to get some basics. Like,
Mhm.
how does it feel to fly? Right? Do you get that rush, that sensation that I think we all felt in Ace Combat 7 when taking off for the first time in PSVR 1? Is that there? Does it give you that feeling, that sense of speed, that sense of height? Is it all there?
This like yes in a way, but these are not modern super powered jets. These are World War II planes. So
They all go faster than my Jeep does, AJ. I'll say that.
they definitely go faster than your Jeep. And but no, like so the sense of like height and everything. Think more Ultra Wings. Maybe a little bit faster, but think more Ultra Wings in terms of the way it feels. But more realistic looking. Like there's like these levels. The graphically like it looks pretty good. It's not like it's not. I wouldn't say it's like amazing looking. Like not everything is super sharp and clear all the time. Even in the main menu, there's like a little bit of aliasing on the trees and stuff.
Sorry, I just saw you
So
crash into the battleship. Like that was amazing.
oh yeah, I ran out of ammo there, and so I was like, "Can I
You
run into this thing?" And
kamikaze? Yeah, nice.
so I tried to kamikaze. It didn't work though. Um, but yeah, like graphically, I think it looks very acceptable. It looks very very good, and honestly, once you kind of get into it, you're not even thinking about like any of the graphics. Like once you're completely like in the zone, like you're not going to notice anything with the graphics really. Like it looks really really good. I would say albeit not like entirely perfect. It does look very, very good. It's not
Okay.
as good as Ace Combat, but it's significantly better than like Ultra Wings, right?
Right.
Um,
Okay, so it's
visually.
one of the things that I've been, keeping a close eye on for in every single new trailer and all the new footage that has come out is the ground detail. There's because at least from that height, the ground detail looks amazing. But
Yeah.
did you get real close to the ground? Like I'm guessing that the closer you get, the less impressive it looks.
No, it actually looks pretty good up close. Because and especially like no, like at times it can look really, really good. Like the water looks fantastic. So when you crash, as you've seen me do a couple times, I tried to include a lot of different stuff here in the gameplay.
Yeah.
When you crash, it actually when you hit the ground, it goes into like a third person and shows like your plane blow up or whatever. And yeah, like it's got like the grass and the trees and whatnot, and they're the trees and stuff like they're not the most detailed, but they look like I said, they look very acceptable. Like they're definitely they look pretty good. What makes it like look good overall is like how dense and how like handcrafted everything looks.
Okay.
It may not have like the highest fidelity, it may not have the highest texture resolution, but it looks good and like they jam pack a lot of stuff. So like as you fly down, um again, maybe not like the highest level of detail, but it is detailed and it looks really really good. And it and yeah, it looks detailed enough and it looks pretty nice. Um but yeah, the so I think it looks really good. Again, it's not going to be perfect. It's like, but that's like saying like again, it's tough to say. I think it looks good overall though. Like look very, if not very very good. It's just like I said, visual like graphically, I'm being kind of critical on it. Like some people will probably think it looks amazing, and it, rightfully so. Like I would be like, yeah, I would agree. Some people could say like, yeah, it looks okay, and I'd be like, yeah, I also kind of agree. Like I can see that. Like it doesn't look cheap. That's for sure. It especially with how expansive the level design is, the environments are, how big they are. I mean, it feels like open world. Like it feels like each level is like a massive open world in some way, like a very very big area. But so one of the other really really cool things about the gameplay, the simulation of the combat here, is the damage to your airplane. This is something that is a very very cool feature, as to where like where you get shot on your plane kind of matters. If the tip of your wing gets shot, just the tip of the wing falls off and it starts messing with like your, just the tip.
No, I mean, no, I wasn't even going there. I was like, oh, whatever, that piece of wing, it's so irrelevant. Like it's, these wings are just not shaped perfectly.
Sometimes even the most minuscule looking thing can just be like a terror to you, like can really mess you up. I've had like a piece of wing like come off and like it was okay. I was like, how am I still flying this right now? Like my wing is a little bit broken off. But then you can also have like your entire wing ripped off, and that is super cool. If that happens, you're going to go into a tailspin. Sometimes like there's footage of it in here. At some point you'll see it. When you get shot down and like lose a part of your plane, you definitely go into a tailspin, and like it doesn't fast forward or anything. Like you just spin for like 5 minutes until you hit the ground. It's pretty crazy. I think there's supposed to be an eject button. And that may be one of the limitations of my control. I think you may actually, because when you shoot somebody out of the sky, you actually see them parachute.
Yeah.
Like some of them. So I think you're actually supposed to be able to do that, but because of the controller limitations at the moment, I may not have the ability to. But I would just say, I thought I saw on somebody else's footage that they did that, and that is super cool.
Upload VR actually ended their first stream, I think, by parachuting out. So there is okay. I do believe there is an ejection.
Okay. Yes. Some of the functionality is a little weird for me because I'm playing with like the unfinished button mapped controllers or whatever. And I can't fully remap them with PSVR2 just yet. Maybe I can on the Quest. But I'll tell you what, I went and jumped into the Quest version, or I jumped in using the Quest 3, and I was like, dude, this looks terrible. like I don't know how, just like it's crazy to me that the two headsets can look so drastically different. But the OLED panel, holy shit, like it makes such a drastic difference. It is wild. But anyways, the damage on the airplane is super cool. You collide with somebody, or you accidentally bump into something, and your propellers like bend backwards towards you, and they no longer function. Your wings can get ripped off from either, like I said, the tip or the full wing. The tail of your plane can get shot off, and you lose like a bunch of control. It is really, really cool with the damage of the plane. And how that where you get shot. Sometimes you just get shot directly and you just die. Like, even though you're in the plane, like you don't just crash, like you just die while you're in the plane. Like that can happen. You can shoot the pilot directly. That's one really, really cool thing about it. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a progression system. There's a lot of different skins you can unlock for each plane. They're wild. They're pretty different too. They look really nice, dude. All of the planes, by the way, have really beautiful and detailed cockpits. All of the cockpits look super cool, look super unique. They all feel different. They all look different. So all that stuff like matters in this. And people are going to probably gravitate towards like, certain combinations of things. But the way the progression works is like after you get some kills with a certain plane, you start getting rewards for it. There's like challenges too. There's daily challenges you can do, like kill an enemy with an American ship, or kill an enemy using a German ship or something like that. And you'll get a random skin or decal or something like that. There's skins, there's decals. So you can like fully customize the aesthetic of the plane. But there's also different machine gun ammo types, and there's different missile types. There's bombs, there's missiles, different things you can unlock as well. But you do have to unlock them. They're not, at least from what I can tell, I don't think they like are all given to you at first. There's a bunch you have to unlock. Again, maybe I'm just missing a missile button, but I don't know. It seems like I don't have them for some of my planes, which is needed, which is why I mostly just use machine guns. But yeah, so in terms of, like I said, in terms of the battle mode, I feel like this is the most the closest to being like the most ready. Um, what's not ready is the single player missions. The single player missions, which is actually what I started playing off first. And if you remember when I was having a private conversation with you, I was not very happy.
Yeah.
I was trying to play the single player missions first because that's just, I'm a single player gamer for the most part. I'm not usually an online or PvP guy. And these still feel like they need a lot of work. They feel a little unfinished. They do have some cool variety of like different like mission objectives and things like that. There's also some levels where it's like just fly through rings, like fly through these rings, basically follow this river or go around this jungle and fly through these rings. And like here you really see the lack of polish. Like you just get kind of close to the ring and it just disappears. And then you just go to the next one. There's no sound effects. There's no like, in Ultra Wings, how they have like the targets and you actually like get extra points for like getting right in the middle, things like that. I'd like to see that implemented here. I'd like to see them blow up the rings and then like actually get extra points for like hitting the target in the middle versus like hitting like the outer side of it, getting that bullseye. So like, yeah, I was not really feeling the single player stuff. It wasn't, it just feels like it still needs a lot of work. It feels unfinished and needs polish. Kind of like Wander, except except this, like, you polish this up, you finish it. The single player stuff would be great, not like the best of all time, like how Wander would be. Like it would be very a nice little addition. But the good news here is that, dude, like the battle mode is honestly, I got so hooked to, and like I just kept playing. There is something incredibly addicting about it that I think a lot of the hardcore gamers out there are gonna like really, really just enjoy playing this. Sink tons. Like I feel like you can get tons of hours out of this game, and you can kind of just. I could just go battle mode. Like online battle mode to online battle mode after online battle mode and just keep playing that. And with that, there's two modes I think I played. One is air domination, where there's like a point in the sky that you have to battle it out. And like, if you have more people in that space, then you start to dominate that area. But then also there is sort of like an objectives thing where it's like defend the base, kind of like destroy ground troops or defend ground troops, things like that. So there are a couple different game modes. I don't know if I've seen just a regular team deathmatch, which is strange. I would like to see like some maps, like make the map smaller, make it not take 5-10 minutes to get to the battle, and just make a small skirmish where it just keeps the action going. Like it immediately throws you right back into the action and you fight each other, kind of like how Star Wars Squadrons was, it's like, yeah, like you'd respawn a little bit away, but like within a minute or two, you'd be right back in the battle again. Right. I would like to see that. I do think that would be a nice way to kind of change the pace of the game. It'd be really fun and chaotic. But
AJ, a lot of people, myself included, were fairly convinced that maybe this game was coming out next month, like they have a May release date. Based on what you've played, is this thing ready to? I mean, is it anywhere near ready for to come out?
Ooh, so that's the thing. I think this game definitely needs a little bit more time. I compared it to like kind of like a bit of a wanderer state right now. The difference is that this is not coming out in 5 days, and that's a good thing. Right. I do think that they're close, but I also think that there's a lot more to be done still. There's a lot of polish that's needed. The battle mode, the main attraction here is mostly done. Like that feels extremely close to being ready. If not ready, that is like very, very close. But but the rest of the stuff, like the single player stuff, like and some of the bugs, some of the jank, the controls, things like that. Obviously, they need HOTAS support, need VR controller, like full button mapping, and need to figure out the rest of that. Because nobody wants to play this with a gamepad, that's for sure. But it seems like they've been designing the content of the game, and they've been kind of like balancing it with like a gamepad this whole time, and then they're going to move it over to like, you know, the VR controls, and what's there like works good enough. But yeah, I think honestly, just be patient. Let them keep working on this. Let them keep polishing it up, because it needs more polish. It needs to be to be finished. Yeah, it's a good thing this game isn't releasing in a week, because I would say no, like it needs to be delayed. But it is close though. It is getting very, very close. They've obviously been working really hard on it. I think the hardcore audience is going to potentially love this game. You know, more casual gamers, I think it'll convert some, and some are just going to be like, it's not for me. It's like, you know, it's too time consuming. Like, I don't like having to wait. I just want to keep just battle after action after action. And it's like, no, there's a lot of like, there's like some downtime, even during a battle. But those that have played like Battlefields, before, or I'm trying to think of like other games. I can't remember the names, but not like, maybe like Escape from Tarkov, and like, you know, like that really hardcore, like they go for that realism where it kind of is a little bit more of a slow burn, but very rewarding. It's kind of like that in a way.
TGK2 says, I'm worried that there aren't PSVR2 betas, as well as PC. And as somebody who's, you know, been in touch with them about the PSVR2 stuff, I think the answer is clear. You know, PC betas and PlayStation betas work radically different. With PSVR2, you'd have to get through Sony certification in order to even create game keys to send out to people like me who are going to test this thing and check it out pre-launch. But it's not even in a place yet that's good enough to get through certification, or maybe the ports are in different places in terms of in terms of quality, and they're, you know, working on both. So I wouldn't be worried about that yet, honestly. But I mean, as soon as I'm able to go on with hands-on with the PSVR2 version, I will definitely let you know if it's something you should be excited about or not, and if there was a reason that we hadn't gotten to play it on PSVR yet. But again, I just think it's fundamentally a different system, and they're not ready to even try to go through Sony certification yet. AJ, I've got a million things from the cats here. You ready to rapid fire some of this stuff?
Let's do this.
All right, let me read the tips first. The Novatones with the 5 quid says, ACES early impressions got me hyped. The upload stream was rough, but impressions from Flight Sim and War Thunder guys are insanely positive. It's really good stuff. Yeah, it was honestly, it was a tough. I tried to watch the upload stream. It was tough because exactly what you described, AJ. There's 5 minutes of nothing while you're flying into battle, and it's just like there's not a lot going on here, right? You think about a flight sim game, you think about high action, you think about intensity, and it's just like, oh, we're just patiently waiting to get to see other planes.
Yeah, like watching it, I could see that being like extremely boring. Like it may not be super fun to watch, but in the headset, like I didn't mind it. Like at first I was like, oh my God, like why does this take 5 minutes, 10 minutes to fly into battle? Like this is ridiculous. But again, it's that reward of when you get there and you start, you know, taking down a bunch of planes and not dying and not having to fly back. Like that makes it so much more rewarding to get good. It incentivizes you to get good at it.
Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat with the Australian 5 says, with ACES, surprisingly, I don't need a flight sim. I just need a good flight model. Listen, I want any flight game at this point. I was, you know, I'm an arcade guy. I would rather have everything be over the top and fast paced and action based. But again, we just other than Ultra Wings, we don't really have much going on in PSVR2 in this regard. So having something that looks realistic is something I'm going to be happy with.
Yeah, this is, while maybe not as like polished as and like well, you know, not as polished as Ace Combat was, it it is like probably my favorite thing since Ace Combat 7 that I've played. Now, I haven't played War Thunder or anything, so you know, but you know, I like it more than Ultra Wings. I like it. You know, I like it a lot so far. Actually, it grew on me. It took me a minute to get going. I think I had a rough start with this just because, you know, I was expecting it to be a little bit more like polished than it is. But it definitely gets its hooks in you, and it definitely it gets going. Like once it gets going, like it's hard to stop playing. Like it is super fun and satisfying for sure.
Mad Vegan, keeping it simple. I love it. He goes, is it fun? You talked a lot about specifics and the different planes you fly and about, but were you having fun?
Yeah. Not at first playing the single player stuff. I was kind of disappointed at first, but playing the battle mode, I was having lots of fun, and like definitely kept wanting to play and grind. And yes, it's a little bit of a slow burn, but I was having a lot of fun during that time. Yes.
Game Cat Goofing in Virtual Unreality was asking about the differences between PC and the PSVR2 versions, and obviously we don't have that information yet because no one's played the PSVR2 version outside of Gaijin. However, I am very excited to see what they're able to do with DFR, seeing if like they're able to improve any of the resolutions or ground textures or whatever it might be, along with how they're going to use the headset haptics. Like I really feel like that when you're at top speeds, or if you're like, can you open you can like open the window, open the canopy like while you're flying? Is that a thing? Because that would be amazing if you opened that up and it was like,
I did that. As I was crashing, I like opened it up and I was trying to eject and I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I'm just like
crawling out the window while it's burning down.
I was spinning. I was going in a circle, just spinning, falling to the earth with the canopy open, and I was just like, ah! And they are targeting a 90 frames per second on PS5,
right? Which is exactly what we're hoping for. Let's see.
Also, an interesting thing. I don't know if this is going to be in the PS5, but something they are trying to do is they're also maybe be supporting hand tracking for interaction with the UI and cockpit elements. So that's something that'd be interesting. We don't really know just yet, but that they said that's still a big work in progress. But that is something that they are trying to do, which could be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, not for me, but for people who like hand tracking, that would be interesting. I want the haptics, man. We're talking about some old aircraft here, right? Like, we're talking about like things that are not. I think all the haptics should be rattling, and every single time you fire weapons, like it should be. I mean, you should feel that, right? Like it's like when you fire the shotgun in Resident Evil Village, and the headset itself rumbles. Like I want to feel this. I want everything you do in these to be intense, and I think that's only something you're going to feel on PSVR 2. Ace Gamercat says, how intelligent was the enemy AI? Oh, you know what? In conjunction with this question, AJ, I think in this footage, I've only ever seen you taking on like one other plane at a time. Were there like squadrons of planes you were fighting against?
It's hard to see in the footage, like, because it's small in my view in the headset sometimes. So I imagine on the footage here, it can be extremely hard to see like what's going on. But yeah, like air domination, I seriously just charged them like head on, like first. And so like I have like 7 planes that like zip by me and I take out whatever I can like on the way there. There's squads. You have squads, they have squads. And one important thing to mention that they do here, again, this is something that some people are going to not like, some people are going to like, is that they make it actually, it's very difficult to tell the difference between your plane and the enemy plane, or I'm sorry, your allies and the enemies sometimes.
Oh, okay.
It can be very difficult. What they do is like they don't have markers that tell you like these are the enemies. Instead, when you're close enough and you point your target or whatever at one of your allies, then the blue name pops up. Like then either a blue or green marker pops up, or like a blue name will pop up. And that's how you tell who's friend from foe. Other than that, it's like you got to just kind of you just got to get familiar with the planes and get close enough to be able to tell. And that was one of the things is like sometimes it was a real little unreliable occasionally where it didn't seem like it was highlighting my ally properly. So like I'd start shooting at them and then their name would pop up and I'd be like, oh, sorry. So they need to clean that up a little bit. But yeah, some people are going to like that. Some people are going to hate it where like, they don't just flat out mark the enemy, which ones are enemies and not. Like you have to be very careful about that.
I'm so screwed, man. Cause I am the worst when it comes to, first person shooters, any kind of like 4v4, 5v5, any tactical shooter like that I've ever played, my teammates are dead by my hands more often than not. Right? It's like I'm just really bad. Like the UI has to be good for me, and it sounds like maybe it's going to take me some time to learn this, and I might struggle at first.
Yeah, they could maybe fix that by like if you shoot your friendly, like it does damage to you instead of the enemy.
Yeah. Wait, did you answer the question? Is the AI good? Did you feel like they were smart?
Yeah. I feel like the AI is pretty good actually. Okay. They can be some tricky sumbitches. Not gonna lie, like they will do maneuvers that drive you so fucking mad sometimes. So I feel like they're pretty good. Yeah.
Old Darth asked, does the game model pulling G's, i.e., do you black out when you're pulling G's? I think I saw the screen go dark. Is that what's happening there?
I did include some footage of that in that clip that's rolling. Yes, you do black out if you go pretty crazy with it. And the screen basically mostly turns black except for just you can see just a little bit through the middle. The significance of that is that you lose the ability to like control. You can still see a little bit, but like until you come out of the blackout, like you cannot move or control very well at all.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not something you want to do often. That being said, I have pulled off some really awesome shit where I did like, so by the way, you can do barrel rolls and you can do backflips.
Wait, are they really called barrel rolls? I feel like every time we say the word barrel roll, somebody goes, "Did you know what they're called? They're called aerial rolls."
Shut up! They're barrel rolls.
Barrel roll.
Yeah, I call them barrel rolls. I don't care what they're actually called because Star Fox is right and you're wrong.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up because I said like aerial rolls, but I that's not right.
It's probably just like a corkscrew.
Barrel rolls really called?
Corkscrew.
Star Fox. Aileron. Fuck me, dude. I don't know. Yeah, let's move on.
Dan Kiefer's got it right. He says they're called beanie rolls. I agree.
Hold on. We got more questions.
Okay. All I was going to say was that I did this amazing thing. I had an amazing moment where I did a backflip to follow this guy, this enemy, and I blacked out, and then I came to, and then I was behind him when I came to, and then I took him down, and it was super cool. When you get good at this game, the thing is like it'll take time. It takes a lot of time, a lot of practice to get good at this. But when you start to get good at this, you start doing some really cool shit, and you start having some really cool experiences too. So, anyways, next question.
Okay. How does Nihilus Ryan was mentioning taking off and landing? Is this Top Gun NES or is it self-explanatory? Does it look good? Does it feel good?
I haven't had to land yet. I haven't done any landing, but you do have to do takeoff. That is similar to Ace Combat, I would say. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you close the canopy, you put the throttle up, and you just pull back, and you can take off from. There's like actual like bases that you can take off from, but then you can also take off from like this dinky little like I say dinky, but it's actually like a giant battle cruiser or whatever, like a ship, a boat, and you can take off from those as well. And they both taking off or whatever feels really good. I love it. If you don't want to do the manual close the canopy, you don't have to do that manually. It's just an option. If you just start going, it will close the canopy by itself for you. So, but yeah, there's no real struggle with taking off, and you don't. And I haven't done any landing yet. It's just when you win or lose, it just says you win or lose, and then it fades to black after.
All right, you black out after you win. Scott, the PSVR game cap for life says, can you please ask AJ if he got to fly a Spitfire? Asking for my 79-year-old dad. Did you get to fly a Spitfire?
Is that the biplane from like World War One? Like the Red Baron? Is that a Spitfire? What's a Spitfire?
Spitfire aircraft. We're Googling it. We're Googling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What
do you got?
Oh, the Royal Air Force. Okay. I don't think so, but it should have that in there. It because it does have the UK base planes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's got a bunch of different planes from a bunch of different countries. I can almost guarantee you it has this plane, but I have not flown it yet. No.
Okay.
But I bet you it has it, and I bet, I don't know if your dad flew these or something, but I bet it would be a trip to put them in there. And by the way, there is a training mode where you can just fly around for fun.
Nice. Good. Just double checking here. Who in the chat says, "Yeah, I don't think we should expect a release date soon. If we get a release date soon, sorry, Pigman says, do you think we can expect a release date soon? I don't think so. I mean, I think if they do give us a release date, right, it better not be anytime soon. It better be like, oh, it's coming in September. Get excited, like give them some months to polish this up and get it where it needs to be. All right.
Everyone's yelling at me for not knowing what a Spitfire is. I'm not a war expert or an airplane expert. I don't know. I just like playing games, man.
Oh, it's not like you didn't know the name of a Mega Man boss. God, leave him alone.
Yeah. Which weakness is Crash Man's weakness in Mega Man 2? Answer me that, chat. They probably all know.
They probably know. That's the problem. Not only do they know what we know, they know more.
I'm not going to pretend to be right on this one. No, I've definitely seen that plane before. I haven't been into this stuff in a very, very long time. Like I said, it's basically been 20 years since I've been into a World War II game. So that has planes like this. So
Dan Keeper.
Yeah, I'm a little rusty on my history too.
Dan Keeper with the $5 tip says, did AJ fly a Spitfire? Wait a minute, we fucking just read this. And does AJ spit fire? I'm asking for Scott's dad. He really wants to know. Okay, I had copied all this. I'd copied and pasted all these questions like 20 minutes ago. Sorry.
I do spit hot fire.
Thank you, Dan. It's super sweet of you.
Just like
Dylon. It's super sweet of you to bring attention to Scott's question. It's very nice of you.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Damn. All right. Well, I mean, anything to add before we wrap up this discussion?
Let me check my notes here. So I actually volunteered to play and give them some feedback. So I have a long list of feedback, bug reports, things like that. I'm trying to help out with this game, man, because I think this game has an incredible amount of potential. I think if they, again, it needs polish. It's going to need more time. Just be patient. But it's going in the right direction, I think. Yeah, I love that there's air-to-air combat. I love that there's air-to-ground combat. I like the visual variety of some of the levels, like some that are, in Hawaii, some that are there's like Normandy, France. There's like a snowy level, I don't know where that was. There's like a decent visual variety to the levels. The areas are huge. Sure. I'm having a lot of what I'll say for now. I looked through my notes. I think I covered just about all the main stuff. Talked about like the single player missions. They really need a lot of improvement. But I do like that the online mode is fun, really, really fun. But I also like that there's a custom battle mode where it's like, hey, I just want to play like, this setup of whatever. And you could like fully customize the skirmish. I like that it has that. This game's going to be highly replayable. It was quick to go back into the online matches. Like the matchmaking stuff is pretty fast. You can go in, you can jump into a match and then when it ends, jump right back in like pretty quickly. There was not a lot of downtime in between that, which was really, really nice. But yeah, there's a lot of minor things that need improvement. And obviously it just needs to be polished. It needs to be finished up a little bit, touched up a little bit. And if they do that, I think they're going to have a very successful launch with a great game. And I think that this could be like a mainstay as well. This could be a potential like system seller, one worth grabbing, and something that I would love to see them, nail at launch and also keep going, keep adding to it, keep expanding on it, make this a popular VR IP on consoles, which this is theirs for the taking here. So they can either take this or they could screw it up, and we'll just have to keep waiting. But they have a huge opportunity here to create one of the best multiplayer games on the platform. And I think they're pretty close to it, man. I think they need a little bit more work, but I think they're very, very close. The last thing I will say is that I'm interested to see how the PSVR2 version ends up looking. Because I do think potentially the PSVR2 version could end up being the best looking version, potentially. As if they use DFR, native 90 frame rate, DFR, and have a lot of have a lot of the lighting, shadows, stuff like that. It could be really well done. But yeah, there's a bunch of other little things I could go into, but I think I've tackled all the really most important stuff for now. But hopefully you get to live stream this pretty soon for you guys.
Yeah, listen, I'm just really happy that it seems like they absolutely could have microtransactioned this to death, and I'm really, really glad that from what you've seen so far, that does not seem to be the case. That there's only potentially one plane that you've seen so far that seems like it's a microtransaction, and it seems like you're unlocking everything else through just playing the game. Hopefully that ends up being the case with the final release, because I think everyone's here is fine paying a premium price for a game that includes most of everything you're going to need. And then, they want $10 from us, for a handful of planes or something further down the line. It's a different story. But, yeah, at least it doesn't seem to be too bad.
Yeah, nothing that I've noticed. I mean, it is kind of grindy. So I hope that they kind of balance it a little bit, but it is designed to like keep you playing, right? Like right. It's grindy, but it's kind of like in the early Firewall days where it's like, well, it took a long time, but it was fun. It was like, It was fun, even though it's investing a lot of time into it. It's like you're getting more of your money's worth. You're having fun the whole time, so it's like it works. But yeah, I hope they don't do microtransactions here because, I do have some concerns about like balancing and stuff, but it's just that a lot of those are unanswered questions at this time. Stuff like, the people that have unlocked everything versus the new people starting out. Like if new people jump in and they're just getting their asses handed to them, and like it's going to really ruin the experience. So I still have some questions myself that are unanswered in terms of like matchmaking, balancing, progression, things like that, to see how they kind of what their plan is for it. But I'm almost done writing up my first big write up for them and going to send it to them soon. Anything you guys have, any other, things that you want me to bring up to them or questions, like G Hall said, ask them about telemetry. I made a note of that. Please leave a comment after the video and just feel free to ask, and I'll anything that makes sense to me, like I'll throw it in there and try to add it when I send them feedback. I'm doing this for I'm trying to take one for the team here and do this for all of us, man. So we happy to listen and help you guys get your voices heard too.
Man, I'm trying to help out the obsessive shadow guy. So that game can be as good as it can when it hits PSVR 2. Is that almost as admirable?
That's okay, Brian. I'll take care of all the games that people actually care about. You take care of all the ones that.
Whoa! Shots fired. No shade thrown at Obsessive Shadow.
Okay, maybe not the best example because I actually think Obsessive Shadow looks okay.
It is. It's fun.
But Dig VR, yeah. You give those Dig VR devs the feedback, and I'll stick to the Aces of Thunder and Hitman. And
Stay tuned for my Dig VR review coming soon. Awesome, AJ. Thank you so much for checking this out. I wanted that was good. That was extensive. That was a lot more information than I thought we were going to learn today.
I hope, yeah, man. Thank you. Like, I hope that was helpful. I hope that gave you a lot of useful info on the game. I literally spent all my weekend, as much as my weekend as possible, playing this, so I could tell you as much as I could about it.
Also, yeah, for anybody watching this after the fact, please leave a comment. If you got questions that we didn't tackle on today's show, leave a comment, and then I'll force AJ at gunpoint to come and respond to each and every one of you.
Yeah, I'll come try to find out questions you have and answer you here. So yeah, man, this will be a Aces of Thunder ongoing thread for a while.
Nice. Hey, I want to give a quick shout out to more people who supported the fundraiser while we were talking about Aces of Thunder. Aces of Thunder. Here we go. We're gonna give a quick shout out. Refresh the page. Come on, bring it up. Here we go. 55 minutes ago, Anonymous gave us $5. 54 minutes ago, Paul Sharp gave us $10. 42 minutes ago, Bitmappy GameCat contributed $25. And then just 5 minutes ago, Anonymous supported us with $25. Dude, we are moving right along. We are 21% of our way to our goal. Thank you guys so very much for all the donations, all the help. It's big, small, doesn't matter. It all is helping us big time.
For real. Big time. Like big time. Thank you guys so much.
GameCat, specifically White Tiger, with the Canadian $2 tip, says, been playing Metro. What an amazing time. Good stuff, man. People are finally getting around to October's games. Like, that's good. That's good. I hope Alien Rogue Incursion is up next. In Subside, he'll be playing Subside any minute now, AJ. If he's keeping up 4 months late. This is good. 5 months late. Holy shit. October was so long ago that we should be coming up to half Halloween any day now.
Oh man. Can't wait for half Halloween.
Oh, it's my second favorite holiday of the year.
I was waiting for that.
All right, man. I think, holy shit, how did this happen? Before the show, AJ and I were like, let's keep it to like an hour today. We're both tired.
I know.
Shit. And now it's already been an hour and 43 minutes. All right, man, let's play a quick game of 4-minute challenge. Let's play a 4-minute game, a 4-minute challenge. I don't think we can actually speed that up or slow it down. AJ is the host this time. So make sure you guys help me out in the chat. AJ is thinking of a PSVR1 or a PSVR2 game. And it's up to us. We've got 4 minutes, but an infinite number of yes or no questions to figure out what game he's thinking of. So please ask good questions in the chat and then suggest good games that it might be based on his responses. AJ,
okay, hold on. Before you start it, let me pull up some stuff on Google so I can have it ready. That way I'm not like having to search for certain answers to questions.
Let me entertain people with my feet in the meantime. Hold on.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'll spare these people.
There's a couple of them out there that are very mad at you right now. Like, AJ, take longer. All right, let's bring up a timer, guys. I need all that. I can't think of any VR games right now. This always happens. My mind goes blank before we play.
Did we get GameCat, specifically a White Tigers tip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember when we were just talking about Metro and the games from October? And oh my God, October was 6 months ago. That means half Halloween must be coming up any day now.
I was doing stuff too. I was typing.
I'm listen. I know that running the show is very hard for you.
It is. I was pulling up, stuff for the game. I was trying to respond to people in the chat. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure we got the White Tigers. Shout out.
Luke Sparling's talking about my feet, and he goes, "Suddenly the tips explode." You know who else tips explode when I show my feet?
Oh my goodness.
That's fucking right they do. Okay. You good? You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, on your mark, get Des. Go. Is it on PSVR 1?
Yes.
Is it also on PSVR 2?
No.
Okay. Oh boy, we're fucked. Is it on other headsets like Quest or Steam or anything like that?
It is on something else, yes.
Is on something else. Okay. Is it from a studio that makes games, from a studio that's made multiple VR games?
Yes.
Okay. Is it from like Vertigo?
No.
Servios?
No.
Avery?
No.
Shell Games?
No.
Alchemy?
No.
I just ran out of developers.
Wait,
Crap.
who the hell's Alchemy?
They make job
Alchemy.
sim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking AL, not OL.
Okay, well, stop it. Not
OW.
your turn to talk. Not your turn to talk.
Okay.
Okay. Is it shoot? Do we shoot guns in this game?
Shoot guns?
Oh my fucking god! Do you shoot
No.
guns in this game?
No,
No.
you do not shoot guns.
Okay. Do you shoot?
Guns.
Do you shoot? Do you shoot arrows?
No.
Do you shoot magic?
No?
No.
Could
Okay.
be,
What
but no.
else? Okay. Are there grapple? Do you grapple in this game?
No.
Oh my god! I have no idea. Is it single player? Markio asks.
Yes.
Okay. Is it also multiplayer?
No.
Is it made by Endreams?
No.
Is it made by Binary Mill?
No.
Archaeact?
No.
Capcom? I hate this so much.
No.
This is such the wrong way to go. Let's keep moving. Alejandro D says, is it horror?
No.
Oh god, Looper says you shoot exactly one gun. You don't shoot guns. You shoot one gun. Oh, I would kill you if you did that to me. Well, yeah. What else do we shoot? What else do we shoot?
I wouldn't go down this route.
Okay, we'll go down that
other
route.
than you shoot something.
Okay, does it
That's
have
the route.
is it going for like realism graphic wise?
No.
Okay, is it very cartoony?
No.
Somewhat cartoony. Cell shaded.
No.
Oh my god. I don't know. I don't know anything. Okay, is it made by Fast Travel?
No.
Is it would you call it indie?
Yes.
Is it a good game?
Yes. I think
Is it
so.
do you think it's like top 25?
No.
No. Okay. Good, but not that good. Interesting. Okay. Is it sports related?
No.
Okay. Did it come out in the first 2 years of the headset, PSVR 1?
Fuck. No.
I think I brought up all the stats, so I don't have to. Do you? Did it come out between 2019 and 2020? Sorry, that was
No.
weird. Okay, so after 2020?
Yes.
Okay, so late gen. Holy shit. Do you have a camera in the game?
No.
Okay, good shot, Looper though. Is it a sim? Asked Bitmappy.
No.
Okay. Is it story driven? Asked Potato.
No.
Shit, I'm so fucked. Scott asked, are we an alien?
No.
Okay. The Fenner is talking about carnival games. Are there multiple mini games within this game? Multiple
No.
smaller games? No. It's made by Llamasoft.
Yes.
Oh my god. Is it a game we desperately want on PSVR 2?
No.
Oh fuck. What else did do you play as a moose?
You do.
Oh my god, is it Moose Life?
It is, in fact, by Llamasoft, released February 16th, 2021. It is the arcade, trippy, psychedelic trance shooter created in the style of 1980s arcade game, Moose motherfucking Life. Brian.
Oh my god, what do you shoot in Moose Life? I don't even fucking know what the...
Dude, that's why I was like, don't even try it.
We're assuming these aren't bullets? Is that what you're telling me?
You shoot pixels? I don't know.
Oh my god, pixelated bullets! God damn it! Listen, not that was going to change anything. Who the fuck got me into Llamasoft? Because I thought Vargosoft is the one who got us the game name, but who said Llamasoft before that?
Great job, Cats. Great job, Brian.
Oh my god, maybe. Okay. All right. Listen, good job. We're going to go with Vargosoft. Good job, man. Thank you very much, everybody, for the help. No way I was going to get Moose Life without the help of the cats out there. Oh, God. The only thing more difficult than Moose Life might have been Goat Up.
Oh, man. Yeah, that'd be really difficult. I don't even remember what the other one was called. Goat Up, I can remember.
I keep thinking Grid Runner, but I think that Grid Runner was a PlayStation 1 game, wasn't it?
Grid Runner, it is something like Grid Runner. But
yeah, a PlayStation 1 game pops up when I search for Grid Runner.
Yeah, I think I watched you, and I actually had this one picked already, and I was like, this is going to be a great one. Like I had this picked like way last week, and then you and Wes were talking about Jeff Minter's newer game, and I was like, fuck, this is going to not be as hard anymore because now the Jeff Minter stuff is a little more fresh on people's minds. But I thought it was like a really good deep cut. But yeah. Oh, Minotaur Arcade. Oh, yeah. Grid Runner and Goat Up.
Wait, it was Grid Runner, so it was just the same name as that PlayStation 1 game I was thinking of.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Dude, I want Polybius so bad though, man.
Me too.
I'm gonna do maybe you or myself, somebody needs to make a tweet saying like, would you pay for Polybius again?
Yeah, 100%. This is something we talked about on. This is something we talked about on Friday's show. Because
we need to do this.
We need him to know that, like, yes, we want it, and we would absolutely pay for it again.
I don't fucking care. I'll pay for it. I'll pay $15, $20. I'll even pay $20 for it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, 20's fair.
I mean, he should do 15, but
Sure.
But I understand. I will fucking pay for this game again. I don't give a shit. Polybius is so good. He has never made a game that's as good as Polybius. Possibly never will. And like, dude, if his concern is that, not like people getting mad about paying for it again, like, no, you're wrong. Like, I will absolutely pay for Polybius again, because it's so incredible, and it would be amazing on PSVR 2 with 120 hertz again.
Flippy Nuggets in chat says this game looks seizure inducing. Yeah, that's kind of the point. With Moose Life and Polybius, it's just like throwing flashing colors and projectiles and particle effects and everything just fucking at your screen, like all of this voxel art stuff. It is meant to be like seizure inducing, like LSD inspired, like it is over the top craziness, and that's sort of like, the beauty of it all. Yeah.
I actually liked I liked Moose Life, but yeah, nowhere near as good as Polybius. I almost said Mega Man, because my favorite thing about Moose Life is that, like Mega Man, you'd have that gravity switch thing where like you'd jump up to the ceiling and then jump down to the floor and then up to the ceiling.
Storm, Castle of Illusion. A bunch of games had that great mechanic. Yeah,
and that worked really, really well.
All right, man, let's get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We know that we're like sort of begging here a little bit when it comes to money. We try to keep money out of it as much as possible, but man, we desperately need your help for the GoFundMe, so please consider contributing to that. Thank you, massive thank yous to everybody who already has.
Dude, we're gonna make everybody that did during the stream, man. Thank you, love you guys so much, man. Like, for sure, really, really appreciate the help here.
For sure. Yeah, this is going to help everybody, man. Like, we really just couldn't do this without you. And so, and that goes just as much for all the people who contribute by tipping or being over on patreon.com/withoutparolegames. We help you. We help you very much. No, that's not what I was trying to say. We thank you very much. I know. Is that what I was trying to say? I guess so. And also by being a member over here, it all helps. So thank you. But money will never be the most important thing here. We're just happy that you're here. We're happy that you're part of the community. So thank you very much for hanging out and being part of the chat. Make sure you come join our community over on Discord. Click the link in the description below. Thanks to everybody who hung out, shot the shit. It was very entertaining. Everybody who helped with 20 questions. It was great. And everyone who sat back and watched the show. Didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there. And we love you just as much. Oh no, it's Monday.
Kill the motherfucking cat, Brian, because I want to say see you guys on Wednesday to Silver Nexus. My dude already says take care, be merry, and game on. Game Cats. Ace Gamer says cue the motherfucking cat. Let's go, baby. Steve Irie, what's up, my homie? Scott the PSVR Game Cat for life. Shout out to you, Papa. I'll fly the Spitfire soon and follow up with you, let you know how the Spitfire is. Nihilist Ryan, my metal feline Fred, thank you so much, my dude. The Fenner PSVR 2 old school PSVR gamer in the house tonight says let's rock. I agree. I am joking to death here.
You all right over
Guy
there?
said fist bump. No, I'm dying. Guy said fist bump to you. Melchiah the soul raving game cat. Razio. Salvador, my dude, what is up, homie? Thanks so much, man, for being here and just being overall awesome peoples. As always, Mad_Vegan Knight, TGK2, thank you, says take care, be safe, have a great week, all you as well. TGK2, Alahembe, Cat Sniffle, 2Y Underground, Stranger Game Cat, Elitist Nate Squad in the house, says Dylon, and Dylon, the 5 greatest rappers in the world. You remember that? You remember that, Brian? You remember that?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Nope.
Because I spit hot fire. Nova Thomas. They love the lurkers too. We do love the lurkers, Nova Thomas. We do. Some people, we'd prefer they lurk. Sometimes. Very
AJ,
rarely.
Didn't you know that
sometimes.
lurkers have the biggest cocks?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's proven fact. You didn't know this?
I don't think that's true. But
I was a lurker.
It could be.
I was always a lurker my whole life until we did this show.
Oh, so you're wrong then.
And then it shriveled up. It's contingent on being a lurker.
Oh, that is terrible, man. Dan Kiefer, thank you so much, man. The Game Cat Cowboy Dan. Oh my goodness, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Yeehaw! What up, Cowboy Dan? Mischievous Markio, the Underground Game Cat. Have a great night as well. You remember that? You remember Game Cat Dan, Brian? Yeehaw!
I do. I do.
Remember, he makes me go, yeehaw!
It is, dude. It's nice. Like every so often, man. Like just like a Game Cat kind of comes back from the dead, and we're like,
seriously.
Forgot
I
about
feel
you.
like it's been 5 years since I've seen that name.
It's been a while.
You know, it's not been 5 years name since I've seen is Karina. Hello, thank you so much. Wave, cat emoji, cat emoji, cat emoji, cat emoji. All right, I think that's everybody, man. Thank you guys so much. Chrome to the Dome, Colossus. Can't forget you though. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the night.